Welcome to the Tenant Placement Group's Landlord Property Information Form. Use our website and then /landlord to take you to it. If you're in our system, we're going to pull some information from this information to your form. If you're not in our system, it's going to let you put all the information in. Everything is keyed off of your email address. So we're going to go with this email address. And favorite flower. It could be flower, it could be car, it could be anything you want it to be. Just something specific for you to remember as your password. If we've notified you that we set up an account for you, we will also have told you what temporary password we put in there. And find the account. So if you want to try the same email or a different email, make sure you've got it right, or you can set up an account. Here we're going to collect your information, contact information, just general, basic information about yourself. If you have a fax number, we'll take a fax number, a secondary email, that's fine, second phone number, fine. Again, if you were given a temporary password, you could change your password here. How do you find your tenants? Management company. Full-time, part-time investor. How many rentals do you have? And how would you like us to contact you primarily? Text, email, phone, or the good old mail? So now we're going to put in information about the actual property you want us to list, the ownership information, the management information. So yes, this is a new person, so they've never been in the system, so we don't have an entity yet. You can't change your email address because that is how everything is coordinated for you. If you self-manage, you would click here and that'll fill in with information. If you don't self-manage, then you would fill in the management company information. This is so we can give this information to your new tenant. If your management company does not have different phone numbers or emails, then you don't have to fill that in. Or you can duplicate it if you'd like. Okay, now we're going to talk about the property itself. What kind of property do you have? It could be any of these: single family, duplex, townhouse, triplex, apartment, student housing. This one happens to be a townhouse. And we need your current lockbox code so we can get in. Lockbox tours. If you would like to allow us to allow people to self-tour, we'll give them an electronic code for the lockbox and they can tour on their own. That gets you 10% discount. There are times when the prospect is at the property and wants to go through, but our agent has had a problem, they can't get there. We can either reschedule with the prospective tenant, or we can allow them to go through with another temporary lockbox code. So if you wanted to do that, but you did them a lockbox code, check that, don't check that. It's pretty simple. If you are doing an apartment, don't use the apartment or unit, just put the number or the letter in here. We fill in the rest of that information. If you have a name for the property, put it in, otherwise you can skip it. If your property was built prior to 1978, you're going to be asked your lead information. Is it lead-free, limited lead-free, full risk reduction, modified risk reduction? You'll need to know that information. How many months has it been vacant? When will it be available? Actually, it's empty now, so we're going to make it available today. Expected rent, $14.95, and you should always have a higher security deposit than the rent. That way the tenant doesn't think that the security deposit is last month's rent. What would you like the headline to be? If you don't have a headline or anything special about the property, you can leave that blank. Now we want to take a look at the requirements. So you want the rent to be 3 times income. And that's incorrect. That's not written correctly. You want the income to be 3 times rent. That's normally what you select. Minimum time on the job, that can be a new hire. Minimum credit score. This is subjective. I mean, you can pick anything you want, but the credit score we're going to look at will be the second criteria we look at. We have to see why the credit score is where it is, what's their basis of what they're doing now, and how's their income look as far as what their expenses are. Do we require renter's insurance? Yes. Do you take Section 8? If you prefer not to have Section 8, you would select I don't discriminate. Otherwise, you would say accept because you don't care, meaning it's fine. Or you prefer, yes, this property, I would like to have Section 8. Lease length. Generally, we recommend a 1-year lease on a new tenant. That way you don't have anything long-term in a situation. If you want to offer other lease lengths, you can, but we recommend just 1 year. How do you accept payment? Money order, electronic debit, PayPal, Cash App, or whatever you happen to have. PayPal wants to have a username. Oh, pretty self-explanatory. When you tell how many deadlines, you will have the option of putting in the dimensions. If you don't know what the dimensions are, you can leave them blank. We'll take care of that when we go out to the property to take pictures. If you know what they are, then go ahead and fill them in. How many bathrooms do you have? Don't put 2.5. Need single digits, whole numbers. How many half baths do you have? Occupants, federal recommendations are 2 times the beds plus 1. You can have less than that if you want. Amenities. If it's smoke-free inside and out, go ahead and select this. If it's only smoke-free inside, you'll have another opportunity. Even if you have laundry on site, skip this particular one. You can pick it if you want, it's fine, but there is another place for laundry inside the unit. That's more for apartment buildings who have it on site. It's just not there. Okay? And if you have a combination stove and oven, then you would do a freestanding stove and oven, not a stovetop and oven. And here is where you would pick your washer and your dryer. And again, if you have washer and dryer, don't pick washer and dryer hookups. You have a washer and dryer. Non-smoking, basement, hardwood floors, fenced-in yard, deck. HVAC, is it gas, hot air, oil, hot air, gas radiator, heat pump? Do you have air conditioning? No. Just window units, fans, heat pump, central air. And then who's paying for all this? This first selection is everybody pays. This is where you would pay for the water and sewer. You can include trash included, but it's not necessary. And then these are the other options or individual. So if for some reason the resident pays the gas and you pay the electricity, then that's what you would pick. Pets. I used to not want pets, but since over 50% of the people out there have pets, I've begun to accept pets. So if you want no pets, 0 and keep on going. If you do want pets or will allow pets, then put in how many you will take, and then you'll have more information to feed in here. Pet fee generally is $100 to $200 per family. The monthly rent is usually $25 per pet, and the pet deposit is usually the same as the fee. If you want cats only, dogs only, all pets allowed, no cats, no dogs, only cats or dogs. If you're going to have dogs, what's the maximum weight if you have a care? And then if you have particular animals that breeds that you will accept that would normally be on this do not rent to list, then just make sure you make that adjustment. Otherwise, you can pick all of them and then just go through and say, okay, well, I know that not all pit bulls are bad, and so I'm going to allow a bulldog mix, and I'm going to allow the American Bulldog, but the rest I'm going to include. Will you accept restricted breeds with dog bite insurance? You can go yes or no. And then if you have any accessibility built into your property for those that are disabled, go ahead and select one of these. Usually you're going to be selecting none. And if there's anything else that I didn't mention, ask you during this form, you can fill it in right here. Otherwise, just go ahead and click submit. And we will get started on getting photographs and getting your property listed as quickly as possible. If you have any problems with this form, contact me at my number. Thank you.